And now we have to segue into another segment where we live for local here in Trinidad and Tobago, and of course in the wider Caribbean, in the region. So here's a trailer for one of the movies, the films that will be aired on TTT very soon that we're going to chat about next. We just saw an excerpt from the film Code, and that is by Jamaican film producer Sarah Manley. And we're going to chat with Sarah right now via Skype. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, we just saw an excerpt from the film that you produced by the name of Code, and it speaks to the differences of, I guess, the times and the mentality between one generation and the next, and it's that of a boy who lives a more modern lifestyle compared to what his father, who's Rastafarian, believes. Tell us a little bit more about the film.
That's exactly what it's about, yeah.
Right.
Sorry, what did you say? Tell you some more?
Oh yes, could you just tell us a little bit more, without giving away everything?
It really is a coming of age story about a young man who defies his father and his father's traditional belief system to be his own person and become his own man, and how that expresses itself for him is through technology, because he's a modern young man, and he has been to school, and he's a sort of computer genius, and his father doesn't trust those things. His father is a Rastafarian, Rasta in Jamaica traditionally is anti anything that interferes with natural living, and computer technology does, and his father doesn't agree. His father thinks he should stay in, traditional Rasta belief, but he says, no, I'm going to prove it to you. So that's really what it's exploring.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And where would you have gotten the inspiration, to tell yourself, what, this is the story I want to tell? Where would you have gotten that from?
It's interesting. I really actually was inspired by the reality. The short film was shot at a Rastafari camp up in the mountains in Jamaica, where I went on another job, and I was struck by its incredible beauty and by its efficiency and self-sufficiency in terms of farming and feeding the people who live there. But then I met the young people there, and it was a still photography shoot, but they were all over our laptops and our computers and, showing us different things. And I was like, hang on, these worlds converge.
Yeah, that seems to be a very interesting and thought-provoking contrast there between the elders and then the young ones, going pretty much against the general belief system of Rastafarians, with modernization and technology obstructing, as you say, natural living.
Yeah, it is like, it's modern times, and there's no way to keep technology away from young people. As long as they leave a secluded environment, go into school, they're going to be involved. But one of the things that also struck me about the young people, and that's why I called the film Code, was that they were Rastafari themselves. And in addition to being very computer savvy, more than me, they were younger than me, they were also very strong farmers, very physically fit young people. To get to the location, you had to climb up a mountainside, 400 steps, and they ran up and down like it was nothing. They were very involved in the water security of the area. So they were both. So there was a kind of Rastafari has this idea of liberty, which is, I interpret as staying close to nature and to the land and to living as closely to the earth as possible. And these kids have that totally. And in addition, we're like computer geniuses. So I was really impressed by them.
Yeah, you know, it's they're pretty much the bridge to the gap between both generations, I'd say, because they have linked both worlds.
Yeah, they were both worlds.
I'm interested to know how the conversations in your research and in your getting material to create the film. I'm interested in how your conversations with both the young Rastafarians and the elders would have been. What were they like?
Um, they were not. I mean, I didn't really spend a lot of time researching with them individually. It was really more the impressions of 2 days worth of work
Right,
and just observing and gathering. I know that the young kids, when we came back up to the location to film, the young people were, they love the idea and they're actually in the film. A couple of them are actually in the film. They play the friends. Um, and older, the elder who like runs the camp, he was that character that I made that is in my film. It was not that man. He was not against his son and the young people in his area
right,
training and so on. So I kind of took a little poetic license there
right,
and went extreme on that elder Ras and kind of gave him a backstory from other stories in Rastafari in the country.
right. Definitely. You know, to really create, to highlight the contrast between the both lifestyles, but still show that, you know, the gap could be bridged, you know,
Yeah,
over time. I'm sure that in the outcome, but people have to watch the movie. They have to watch the film to.
I hope everyone watches it. I'm really thrilled that I have film has the opportunity to be on Trinidad television in Trinidad. It's a
Yes,
great privilege.
yeah. You know, we here at TTT live for local, and of course, when we say local, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but the wider Caribbean and the region itself. So it's really a great addition to our schedule here, and of course, that will be aired very soon. If I'm not mistaken, it should be on tonight at 8 p.m. For our Live for Local segment here in
Very exciting.
on TTT.
Absolutely.
So, so Sarah, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. We are looking forward to that film, which should air tonight at 8 p.m. And yeah, you have a great one.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, take care.